Thursday, April 23rd, 2020. Going to recap two day trades. One bad, one good. Good one made up for the bad one and then some, which was really good. So I'm in the black today. I'm very happy about that. So I might not day trade the rest of the day, but I will be looking for some afternoon trades if something pops up. So basically, I have the SPY up here because it's had a really good day. You can see it's above VWAP. It's been bouncing on it. And then it had a nice little move up. And this little half hour right here where it kind of surged is the reason that I was able to take advantage of a trade today, because the SPY has been affecting so much since the coronavirus pandemic basically hit. It is more than normal heavily affecting the way your stocks move. So if you're in a stock that's moving up, but something hits, like some bad news about the pandemic, or something good news comes out, stimulus, it could propel it, but the bad news might sink your stock and stop it in its tracks. So you have to have an eye on the SPY unless you have a stock that's moving on its own, which is a lot harder to find these days, I find. One that I did, I'll just show this real quick before I show my trades. Work has been on my watch list for a while. You can see it broke above VWAP to start the day, but fell, then broke above it again, failed it, broke above a little bit again, failed it, and then it came back up and eventually made a run. I put a little arrow here because at this point I was thinking of getting in, and I didn't. I hesitated, and I paid the price because it went up almost $1. It went from 26.45 to about 27.41. So I could have had, and it went really quick too. There's a 1 minute chart. This moved really quickly. So I just did not take advantage of it because I hesitated. And this is a pattern I like. This continual fight with VWAP. You can almost guarantee that at some point the buyer or sellers are going to lose out when you see this constant battle here. If at this point it started to fade, because you can see the close of yesterday was right here, if it had faded even more and continued down, I'd say this would be a short. Sellers were winning out the VWAP battle. But here it broke back up again, and then it surged. And right here again, where I wanted to get in above this kind of level that I set here, this made more sense than any trade I probably could have taken, and I didn't. So I'm still struggling with really hopping into trades that all signs point to go. So paid the price here. I'm disappointed in this one, and it would have made up for my loss, which I had earlier in the day. But luckily, I still had a good trade later on. So this had something going on. Slack's been kind of moving on its own based on the type of the business it does. So that was a good one. I wish I had taken it, but I didn't. What I did take earlier, which I lost out on, was Uber. And Uber, I'll show you. I'm just going to reel it back to show you what I was looking at. Not much volume in the pre-market. So when it started, right before the pre-market, there was a surge here. And whenever I see this, like just a minute or two before, where you see it moving up, I think there's something going on. It's possibly going to go on a run really quickly, really early. So I got in after the 1 minute opening range break. Here you can see the first candle was down, but held VWAP, then it surged, still had a lot of volume, and then it went third candle was pretty decent with some volume. So I got in at around 28, 92. And one of the reasons why, if you look at the daily chart, this little level I show here, this little line here, this is a tremendous level right here. If it could break above this, I figured it had a chance to move up. And it started moving above there. I think the highest candle here was 28.89, and I got in at 28.92. I really probably should have waited for the whole number at 29, but it didn't really matter because it did break 29 basically, but didn't hold it, and it dropped and stopped me out once it broke through VWAP. So I got out, and then you could see it even went further down. So it wasn't like I was just setting my stop too tight. It kept fighting with that level. I think it might now be making a move. Yeah, because SPY's helping it out. So eventually it did break 29. And look at this. Look at this green candle right here. Once it broke above, it just kept moving up, 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 up. So still not a tremendous mover yet. I think if it can kind of break above the high of the day now, it might actually go on a run if the SPY continues to move up. But that's just something you can't be guaranteed at this point. So yeah, just an unfortunate loss here. But I made up for it with LB, which was, I'm a pre-market scanner, and you could see I had been watching it, had moved up early, failed VWAP, came back above VWAP. I thought about getting in here, but this was just too whippy at this point. So I was like, yeah, I was just hesitating. I thought if it held this and kind of moved back up, that might be a time to get in. It didn't. Kept fighting with VWAP, but then finally had a nice little leg up here and got in at 10. What was it? Yeah, 1053, and a little pullback here, but then eventually moved up. I got out a little bit before my first target, which was 1079, but then it surged up through that, got to my second target, and I just took the rest of my shares out. I took out half here, second half here, and then it kind of whipped around, and it's kind of moving around sideways here. I think it probably might move up a little bit more, based on the daily candle. Like if you look at yesterday, it had a big down day yesterday, so it could probably recover a lot of this maybe. I wouldn't guarantee it. I was expecting, actually, I was on my radar because I expected it to drop a little bit more today. But this was another thing. This is where the SPY was helping me out with this one. So unfortunately, if it does move up, I don't have any shares left, so I won't be able to take advantage of it. But I got enough here. I got out just before my first target at 1074, and then I got out the rest at 1092. That was my 3-to-1 reward to risk ratio right there. So I was happy with that, but we'll see what it does the rest of the day. So that's it. That's the trade I had. Luckily, I made up for the Uber loss, and I still am bitter about not getting the work trade, because that was a monster move in like 10 minutes. I mean, this was at 10 o'clock, and by 10:12 it had moved up almost $1. It's unfortunate, but hopefully be able to take advantage of those in the future when I get a little bit more comfortable, and I'll be able to pull the trigger. That's it.